Canada's topography is highly diversified, with untamed landscapes and abundant remarkable flora and fauna, as the world's second-largest country by area. These are some of the most amazing natural beauties from across the country, ranging from the Rocky Mountains to spectacular coastline inlets. Cathedral Grove, in Macmillan Provincial Park on Vancouver Island, is the spot to witness gigantic Douglas fir trees, many of which are over 800 years old. These enormous tree trunks have circumferences of up to 30 feet and heights of up to 246 feet, giving a shady canopy for strolling. Spotted Lake, as its name suggests, is a small lake that generates naturally occurring polka dots when the lake water evaporates and a high concentration of minerals causes big green, blue, and yellow spots to appear on the surface during the summer heat. Full of islands, fjords, and untouched rainforest as far as the eye can see, the Great Bear Rainforest is spectacular enough on its own. The area is the only place in the world where you'll find rare Kermit or spirit bears, a white version of the more common black bear. Known as one of Canada's most rewarding hikes, this 47-mile, 75 kilometers, trail takes visitors along the coast of Vancouver Island, through Pacific Rim National Park. It's challenging terrain, hikers need to register in advance and should be at a high level of fitness. The most well-known of Banff National Park's turquoise lakes is Lake Louise. Lake Louise is the most accessible and offers amazing photo opportunities. The reflected glacier sediment that makes its way into the water gives the lakes their characteristic blue appearance. Even in the summer, the ice-cold glacial water makes them too frigid to swim in. It's uncommon for anyone to be able to go onto an ancient glacier, which is why the Athabasca Glacier, which is easily accessible, is so popular with visitors. Athabasca is one of the 6 toes of the Columbia Icefield, which stretches across the border of Banff and Jasper National Parks and is the largest icefield in the Rocky Mountains. This group of peaks isn't necessarily bigger or more impressive than the rest of the Canadian Rockies. The Three Sisters are located near Canmore, making them some of the first mountains travelers see as they travel from Calgary to Banff. The hamlet of Drumheller, located in southeastern Alberta, is surrounded by porous hills striped with various layers of silt and otherworldly flat-topped rock sculptures known as hoodoos. The Drumheller area's unique geological characteristics also make it a hotbed for dinosaur fossil discoveries. Although the Aurora Borealis, also known as the Northern Lights, can be seen in many places of Canada, this nighttime celestial phenomenon is most reliably seen in the country's far north. Yellowknife, NWT is one of the best spots to see the Aurora Borealis in the winter. The Honey River is a beautiful untamed watercourse that winds its way through some breathtaking scenery. A complex system of limestone caverns, deep river canyons, magnificent waterfalls, and granite summits may be found on the reserve's protected terrain. With so few people living here, it's also a wildlife haven, with wolves, grizzly bears, and caribou roaming free. The Crooked Bush, often known as a botanical mystery, grows in Hafford, Saskatchewan, and is both beautiful and scary. The bush is actually a small cluster of 70-year-old aspen trees with twisted trunks that stretch and grow in every way possible. A narrow boardwalk runs between the trees, allowing visitors to marvel at their strangeness. Nobody knows why the trees are crooked. Churchill's remote location on the Hudson Bay's northern shore, where it meets the mouth of the Churchill River, has made it a popular destination for observing polar bears, beluga whales, and other Arctic wildlife. The town's reputation as the polar bear capital of the world was exploited. Niagara Falls is, without a doubt, Canada's most popular tourist destination. There are 3 different cascades, with Horseshoe Falls on the Canadian side of the Canada-USA border being the most magnificent. To properly grasp the immense power of the thousands of cubic meters of water gushing over the falls every second, one must witness it firsthand. Bon Cher Caves in Eganville, Ontario, are limestone caves with a history dating back hundreds of millions of years. They are home to hibernating bats, prehistoric fossils, and stalactites. From May through November, the museum is usually available to the public, with guided tours every 20 to 30 minutes. If you're visiting during the summer, bring a jacket or sweater. When viewed from above, the block-like mesa formations at this park near Thunder Bay, Ontario, like a giant sleeping on its back. From the ground, tourists can gaze out over Lake Superior, the greatest of the Great Lakes, or explore the unusual rock formations closer to the water. There are over 62 miles, 100 kilometers, of hiking routes in the park. Visitors can see deer, wolves, foxes, and other wildlife on the park's 62-mile, 100-kilometer, hiking paths. Algonquin Provincial Park has long captivated the imagination of Canadian nature lovers. It was a favorite spot of the famous artist collaboration known as the Group of Seven. It is a wonderfully well-preserved stretch of wilderness, full with streams and rivers ideal for canoeing, and is larger than the American state of Delaware. A transition between coniferous and deciduous forests can be found in the park, resulting in a diverse variety of plant and animal life. Fall is a vibrant season in Canada, but nowhere is it more so than in the province of Quebec, which is densely forested with maple trees. The leaves of the trees turn a magnificent orange or crimson in the fall, blanketing the undulating hills of rural Quebec with color for many weeks in October. Early in the spring, the trees have a lovely season when their sap is tapped and transformed into delicious maple.
Waterfalls of Parc de la Chute Montmorency, which are 272 feet high and substantially taller than Niagara Falls, are a sight to behold at any time of year. In the summer, the water generates a cooling mist. In the winter, the mist freezes to form the Sugarloaf, a mountain of ice. The greatest way to see the falls is from above. Say granite is a large slab of sheer rock sticking out of the open water just off the tip of the Gaspé Peninsula in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. The rock is pierced by a massive arch that sits over water and is regarded one of the world's largest arches. Sea kayakers, as well as whale watchers and bird watchers, frequent the area. And is usually quite quiet. But the beige powder on the beach in Basin Head, Prince Edward Island, not only creates noise, but it sings. As you go along the beach, you'll hear a weird chirping sound that blends in with the neighboring waves. The abnormally spherical shape of the quartz-rich sand produces a singing sound when the grains rub together. All of the shoreline around the Bay of Fundy is considered a natural wonder, but the Hopewell Rocks add a little more wow factor. Those high tides have resulted in a succession of strange and magnificent rock structures with plants growing on top that are only completely revealed at low tide. Cabot Trail is a scenic route, not a natural marvel. Yet traveling along this 186-mile stretch of road provides access to the breathtaking splendor of the Cape Breton shoreline. You'll pass through picturesque towns and lighthouses along the road, as well as dozens of hiking routes that highlight the Cape Breton Highlands. The majority of Canada's population is centered in the south, yet the north contains some of the country's most beautiful scenery. Ellesmere is the world's 10th largest highland, located at 80 degrees north latitude and surrounded by mountains and ice caps. This is actual Arctic landscape, and it's a fascinating corner of the world that few people get to experience. Gros Morne National Park, on the west coast of Canada's easternmost province, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site with stunning mountains and rugged fjords. The park's extensive hiking routes allow tourists to discover a vast variety of landscapes while enjoying gazing out over the Atlantic Ocean. The Gros Morne is also a great spot to look for wild moose,